Hello and welcome back to Yarn Tea and Books. My name is Tasha, and along with my husband, we are the humans behind Frogget Yarns hand-dyed yarns and Mobile Yarn Truck. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so happy that you're joining me again this week. In my little corner of YouTube, my little corner of the internet here, where I like to connect with you and share what I'm making, what we're up to as a business, and what we're reading, what we're drinking, all of that fun, cozy stuff. So grab your favorite mug and your favorite beverage, and let's chat. This week, we will talk about WIP progress. There's been quite a bit of WIP progress. We will go over a few things in the shop, just date-wise and what's coming, what's going. And there's a bit of a reading update. Little tiny bit of a book haul. I grabbed, I think, two books and a book that I'm very much looking forward to getting. Releases next week. But let's start with Mugwatch. This is my ginkgo leaves mug. It's the same all the way around. This is showing black, but it's really like a midnight blue. Unfortunately, you cannot get one of these. I got this at a local festival to me, maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, maybe in 2023. It was a local festival. Her company was called Made by Meg. But I looked this morning to find the link to her Etsy shop, and it's shut down. And I did a little more digging and found a post where she said she was closing down the business. So that's that. It's a beautiful mug. This is like rough. It's not shiny glaze. These are all like hand put in there. It's a gorgeous mug. It's one of my favorites. I'm having an Earl Grey lavender this morning, and that is my second cup of tea. So I get my first mug in me, and then I'm ready to start my day. So today is Thursday, June 12th. If you're watching this the day it comes out, it is Saturday, so happy weekend. Yeah, so that's what we're going to get up to today. So there are no FOs this week. It's been busy, and I'll tell you why a little bit later. It's busier than I thought it was going to be, busier than I planned. There was an opportunity that we were offered, and my summer plans kind of went out the window. So we'll talk about that. But needless to say, there's no FOs. So let's move on to WIPs. For WIPs, I did make pretty good progress on Mr. Frogget's Grid Gambit Cowl. So this is a design by Samantha Guerin. And am I showing this right? This is where I cast on. So this is the top edge of the cowl. This is the side edge, and yeah, I'm working down this other, I don't know. I was here last time. I'm working this way. I was here. It's my little Starfish Charm by Kelsey at the Littlest Charm Co. I've done all of this. So we've moved from the yellow greens full on into yellow, into orange, and now we are just getting into the purples. So I am using this skein of Entropy DK by Feederbrook Farms. This is the colorway Bioluminescence. So we're getting into the bright, bright purples. That's Mr. Frogget's favorite. And my contrast color is our Rambouillet DK, which is 100% American Rambouillet in the color Ash. So that's his two colors. I think it's showing off the fun colors very well. You even get to see the black that it's plied with. So yeah, I am almost done with the second chart. I think I have 10 rows left of the second chart, and then I'm on to chart 3. There are only 4 charts, so I'm almost halfway there, which is good. It's working up really fast. Once you get the rhythm of it, you don't even really have to look at the chart. You can look at this and see what's going on. You can see how the pattern is changing every like 6 rows, I think, something like that. Anyway, that's the Grid Gambit cowl. It is living in a Highland cowl bag. This is a bag by Emma Ball, and I got this from my friend Robin, who is the Yarnbyrds truck. So that's the bag that is living in. Next up, we have my Boxy Blooms cardigan. And you guys, I'm done with the back. So that is the back. It is not blocked yet, but that is the back. I was barely started last week when I showed you. There's my little sea turtle charm, also by Kelsey. That's where I was. I finished the whole back. So it does work up quite quickly, which I love. I can do, I can bang out 4-8 rows in an evening, which is fun. So I did add one extra repeat. It's a 4-row repeat. I did add one extra repeat to the back just because it wasn't feeling long enough. I know it's supposed to be cropped, and that's fine. It also gets a border around the whole thing, but I just wanted it just a smidge longer. I don't plan to wear this obviously by itself. It will always be over a tank top, over a sundress, but I just did one extra repeat, and now I am ready to move on to the fronts. So again, I'm using the yarn that the designer used. This is Kobu by Lion Brand, and it is a cotton and bamboo blend. And I'm using the color Plume, which is like this mauve-y pink. Pinky, it's almost purple. So I'm very happy with that. It's coming along nicely. I also forgot to show you, it gets, the pattern calls for 3 buttons. So it's a V-neck, and then there's just 3 little buttons. I think because I lengthened mine, I'll need at least 4 buttons. So I've got some contenders. So that's my first set. These are just all like pearly. This is my least favorite. The other set that I love is this set. So they're all like a pinky, I think this is Mother of Pearl, but they're all a little different. And these are all from Dusty's Vintage Buttons. Again, she has no website. I grab these when I see her at shows. And then my third option is this set, which are all the same. They all have this same like checker design. They just vary in intensity. So those are mostly those are the 2 I'm considering. I don't think I want the white ones. Mr. Froggett's pick is these, I think, that all match, but I like these. So we'll see. I will, I'll decide once I have finished the cardigan and I'm ready to put them on. This is living in a bag by Create Tricks. I will link her below. I got this again at a show. She was a fellow vendor. She uses, she sources like vintage fabrics or the ends of bolts. So she only gets a couple of bags out of each fabric. And this one was beautiful and beachy, which I love. So this is nice because it just hangs over your arm. There's lots of pockets inside. On one side is all pockets. The other side is clear. So love that one. And the only other thing, oh no, I have a spinning WIP. So my little electric eel wheel, I did post on my socials that I got a case from the spinning Siren. So this is the base. The wheel is attached to the base. There is my current spin. This is bobbin number 2. I already showed you the other finished bobbin. So this is bobbin number 2 of the Targhee that I'm spinning. So this is my second ply. And I'm almost done. I am spinning the second bit just straight from end to end. I did not break it apart. So the color changes will be a lot longer in the second ply compared to the first ply where I split it into 6. So those color changes will be shorter. So when they're plied together, you should be able to see that variation. So I only have a little bit left. Yeah. And this is the case that I got from the spinning Siren. So this is the top. It's a nice thick case. This goes over my spinning wheel and clamps right to the base. But it also works to hold my fiber. So love that. Love the new case. Makes it super easy to travel with because there's a handle right on top. And my battery has its own drawer. And then I have another drawer for supplies. So loving that. It also came with like some pink hooks to change out, my knob. Yeah, just a little way to dress it up. So that's my spinning WIP. The other WIP that I started is socks in our upcoming anniversary color. I don't know if I should show you. It's so good. You kind of already know the theme. I showed a little peek last week. I've been sharing sneak peeks on our socials, but I'll just give you the tiniest little peek at the cuff of the colorway. So get excited. The charm is also on that sample, but I cannot show you the charm yet. They're just so good. And I spoke to my bag maker and I should be getting a sneak peek of the bags this week. So I'm so excited. And I'll give you the dates again during shop news, but that is it for WIPs. That's all I've been working on. Again, we were busier than normal. So that'll take us right into shop news. And we are done with spring show season, which is exciting. And I'm happy to be off the road. I'm happy to, I was going to say have a little downtime, but we're not going to. So right before we left for Fayetteville, which was our last show, it was the Fayetteville County Fiber Festival. It was first year for us. It was a 1-day show just outside of Pittsburgh, and it was a great show. It was well attended. Yeah, we had a great time. We will definitely be applying next year. So if you came out to see us, thank you so much. It was a good show. Right before we left, we were contacted by someone in the industry asking us if we would be a featured dyer for something that they do. I cannot say who it is. I cannot say anything other than we said yes. But that also means I now have to dye 600 skeins of yarn before the middle of July. So that is so much yarn. I've never had to dye that much yarn for one order in the 8 years that we've been in business. So it is an exciting opportunity. I'm happy to do it, but it does mean that my summer schedule kind of got out of whack. I had planned after our last show to kind of take a couple days, maybe this whole past week off, just to take a break, take a breather. That didn't happen. I needed to quickly get in the dye studio to start Advent development, because now I've got this big order that I can't start until I get the yarn, which has been ordered and is on the way. But it made me realize I need to jump on Advent development, because once the colors are developed, then the dyeing the extra batches is easy. I've already got the recipe. The hard part is creating it, right? Making sure it comes out the way you want it. I did do the first 8 colors of our Fourth Wing inspired Advent yesterday, and 7 of the 8 are perfect. The one I will need to revisit. So that batch of minis will go into our tadpole basket at some point, because that color that I don't like and isn't the way I pictured it is not going to be used. So yeah, so I have to revisit that color and then start developing the next 8. So that's what takes a long time. Like, there's only 8 or 9 pans in my oven, but it takes hours upon hours to, you know, figure out what dyes you want to use, figure out the ratios that you want, how intense, how, you know, bright or dark do you want it. And because I'm doing this based on the 3 books, so the first 8 will be Fourth Wing centered, the second 8 will be Iron Flame centered, and the third 8 will be Onyx Storm centered. The books gradually get very dark as they go along. So the first 8, you know, we're introducing you to the characters and some of the fun bits. The second 8 is much more intense, much more dark. So I've already shared this. This was our Fourth Wing kind of mood board, what I wanted to be inspired by as far as colors. And like I said, I got all but 1 right. And I'll double check when I go down to grab them now that they're dry. But yeah, only the one, as soon as it came out of the oven and was rinsed and washed, I said, no, that one's not going to work. So for Iron Flame, here is my mood board, right? We're a little darker, much more moody. We've introduced some new things. Yeah. So that's what I'll be focusing on tomorrow. And then next week, we will be diving headfirst into this big order. I want to knock it out sooner rather than later. It has to be across the country to California by the end of July. So my goal, and I know it's lofty, my goal is to just head down in the studio. Mr. Froggatt and I have a plan. I've planned it out in my planner. I can do, you know, this many colors a day. So it'll take me this many days to do it. And if I can stick to that and get it done and sent ASAP, then I can possibly take a good chunk of July off. We do want to go on vacation this year. We have not been on vacation since our Scotland trip, which was March of 2023. I'm overdue. So that's kind of the plan. My whole summer now got screwed up because of this, but it was an opportunity I didn't want to turn down. That was a lot to say that Advent dyeing and development has begun. Advent pre-orders close June 21st. After that, whatever I have left over after I round out my batches, those will be the extras. But, so you're seeing this on Saturday if you're watching it the day it comes out. So tomorrow, Sunday, June 15th, the pre-order opens for July's Lilypad Club color. So I can show you what we're doing for July. So our book for July is The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. beautiful cover. Here is our color palette. And this is, I don't know, this is green. My printer, I don't know, it's not the best for pictures, but you can see, obviously, there are greens in the book, the vines, the thorns. So that's our color palette. And I've had the charm for a while because I gave Kelsey a head start on future books. So I have July's and August's book. So here is the charm. Oh, it's got the 2 rings. It's got the roses and the vines. It's even got gold on the corners. Look at that. A little bit of gold on the spine. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love that this one is simple and to the point, because that's all that's really going on the book, right? There's rings, there's roses, there's vines. So she nailed it. So that's our book pick. That's our color palette. That's our charm. They will go live Sunday, June 15th, 9 a.m. They go quickly. We sold out of June's books. There are none left. And yeah, so don't wait. Anniversary boxes. So the little peek that I gave you for our 8th business birthday, business anniversary, July 1st. That is our actual first day of business. So July 1st, the boxes will go on sale. Like I've said many times, they are extremely limited. There will only be 25. So to make it easy, because I don't know what base everyone is going to want, right? So I can't say, oh, I'll put 15 boxes that contain fingering weight and 10 boxes that contain DK weight. But what if 20 people want fingering weight? And then I'm left over the DK boxes. So because the boxes are one listing, I have to make them all the same weight. That way I'm not left guessing and then I've got leftovers. They can't be an add-on, right? They have to be, this is the box. So there will be a separate listing for just the yarn that you'll be able to get any weight you want that I can dye the color on, but you won't get all the box goodies. Kelsey is also going to have the charms, just the charms, for our anniversary box in her shop on July the 1st. So if you just want the yarn and the charm and you don't want the other goodies, that's an option. You have to get the yarn from us and the charm from Kelsey. I will say, if you love DK weight and you want the whole box, just hold it double. Our fingering weight held double is DK weight. That's your other option. And I think that's it for shop news. A little bit of life stuff. Yeah, I think I touched on it a little bit. We're super busy. So life news. We're super busy in the studio with this big order. We are planning a beach vacation. Hopefully I can get all of the advents developed, this order out of the way, done and out of the way. And then I can take some time off in July other than like club dyeing. And I can dye the advents too, because like I said, once I have the colorway developed, it's just a matter of following that recipe to dye the rest. This, the subsequent batches. For me, it's Thursday. So tomorrow night, Mr. Froggett and I have date night planned. We are going to see the new How to Train Your Dragon movie. So it'll be a fun night out. We'll have a nice, easy dinner out. We'll go to the movies, enjoy the movie. We don't go often, but every now and then there's a movie that comes out where I'm like, we're going to see that in the movie theaters, whether you like it or not. So that's it for life news. Just busy. It's hot here in South Central PA. Yeah, that's it. So that'll take us to book chat. For book chat, I finished my reread, re-listen of Iron Flame. This is prepping me for Advent, getting me back in that world, getting me inspired. I am listening to these books while I'm down there dyeing the yarn, so I'm really immersed. I am listening to the graphic audio version, which is like a movie in your head. I have just started Onyx Storm, and I want to kind of take that slow because only the first half of Onyx Storm is recorded in the graphic audio. The second half doesn't come out until I think July the 2nd. So I have to wait a bit. So I am listening to Onyx Storm. So finished Iron Flame, listening to Onyx Storm. I'm also currently reading our June book, which is To Kill a Shadow by Catherine Quinn. I'm mostly reading this on my Kindle, and I read a little bit this morning before I got up. I am 30% of the way in. So it's a fast read when I'm reading it. I just haven't spent a lot of time reading it. I also started Wild Oak by C.C. Harrington. I showed this last week that it was one that I wanted to start, and I'm a good bit of the way in. This is middle grade. This is so well written. It's very cute. I am enjoying it a lot. Yeah. I'm having a good time with this. So this is following our main character, Margaret, who I think is 12 years old, but she's having a lot of trouble in school. She has a stutter. And this is taking place in like 1960s London. And then we have another kind of point of view every other chapter from a snow leopard named Rumpus, who was bought as a pet and then released because the owner didn't want to take care of him. So it's very cute. I think there's a magical wood involved at some point. I'm not there yet, but I am about 80 pages in, and I read that 80 pages in like an hour. So it's a very quick read as well. Enjoying that quite a bit. And also, so Tuesday, June 17th, another one of my most anticipated releases for the year is coming out. And I'm struggling with, I pre-ordered it because I want the special deluxe edition to match the first book. But I know that Barnes is not going to send it until release date. And it's going to be a week until I have it. Now, am I going to read it in that week? No, it's probably going to be a July read. But I'm contemplating canceling my pre-order so that I can drive to Barnes on Tuesday and pick it up and have it in my hands. Anyway, this was the first book, The Wren in the Holly Library by K.A. Lind. This is an urban fantasy. So it takes place in New York. I think like Manhattan, New York. But we're dealing with vampires, werewolves, fairies, all kinds of fantasy creatures. So I think it makes the world a lot more immersive because you're already familiar. They haven't changed. It's not like an alternate reality New York. It's New York after this like monster treaty to protect the humans. This was such a good book. I read this last year. One of my favorite reads. I mean, 10 out of 5 stars, honestly. But I love the deluxe edition. It's got the end paper. Like, look at this. It's so gorgeous. It's got the end paper art. So this first one follows our main character, Wren, and she's a thief. So that's all I'm going to say. She breaks the treaty. And I have been I have thought about this book and the way it ended since I finished it last year. So the new one is called The Robin on the Oak Throne. If I can find a picture, I'll put it here. And I'm very, very excited. I just have to decide if I want to wait for Barnes to ship it or if I want to drive to Barnes on Tuesday and pick it up. Anyway, one of my most anticipated reads. We were in that area. Oh, we were running our errand. That's right. We had an errand to run last Thursday when I recorded. And we were going to be in the area of the bookstore. So we did go to the bookstore and I did pick up book 2, A Fellowship of Librarians and Dragons. This is the Adena-Shire series, book 2, J. Penner. I have the first one. And I also wanted Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Moss, or Mass. I think it's Moss. And this is also a stunning edition with the edges. There's beautiful end papers. So I grabbed those two while we were in that area. And then I had on order a book that I couldn't find in stores. This is A Fate Forged in Fire by Hazel McBride. It's going to be very shiny because it is a very shiny cover. But this is also like a story about dragons somehow. So those are my recent pickups. Nothing too major. Yeah, I think that's probably it. Yeah. Like I said, I'm just trying to decide, what would you do? What would you do about the book situation? If you had one on pre-order, would you wait? Because Barnes will not ship it before release date. So they won't ship it so that I have it on release date. Release date is Tuesday. They won't ship it until Tuesday or Wednesday. And it usually takes a week. Would you wait? Or would you cancel that pre-order and drive to Barnes & Noble and grab it? I don't know. It might be a situation where we fill the cabinet and then I hop in my car and go for a quick drive. It's like a 20-minute drive, so it's not a big deal. But I don't know if I want to wait an extra week. I might be able to squeeze it in. It's so good. That's a book I highly recommend. The Wren in the Holly Library. And then you can go right into book 2. You won't even have to wait. But that's going to do it for this week, folks. Let me know, what have you been working on? What have you been reading? Are you planning a summer vacation? We have not been to our favorite beach since 2021. After Mr. Froggatt had back surgery and emergency gallbladder surgery all in the same year. Yeah, so it's time to go back. It's time to see one of our favorite shop owners, Peggy. She owns the Salty Sheep Yarn Shop. And we have not seen Peggy in forever. So it is time to go and see her and just take the boys, the pups, and have a relaxing week. So let me know what you're planning for this summer, what you're reading, what you're making. And yeah, I think that'll do it. I will see you right back here next week. Same time, same place. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. The world is crazy right now. And until then, happy making. Bye.